Hey everybody, welcome back to Science with Ilana. I am at the museum. It's a nice quiet day here, so I thought I would take the time to introduce you to a new animal. I have someone very cool here. So I'm going to do my shout outs. I want to say hi to Simi and Evan, Andy, Olivia, and Matthew, Millie and Maxo and Emma, Alma and Noah, Liv and Eve. And everybody else who's watching, thank you so much for watching. And look who I have here today. I have a new lizard. Isn't this guy cute? This is a gecko. This is Marvin. That's his name. Marvin is a leopard gecko. And there's something special about Marvin. He's actually an albino, which means that the color of his skin is a little bit lighter and different than it would normally be if you saw Marvin in nature. So a leopard gecko is a special kind of gecko that lives in a part of the world where it is usually pretty dry and rocky and sandy, sort of like desert. So you can find leopard geckos in the wild in Afghanistan and Iran and Pakistan, and even parts of India. So that is where Marvin the gecko comes from. Look at his little face. I just think that these geckos are so cute. Marvin is a grown-up, so this is as big as he will get. And look at Marvin's tail. Do you see how big a tail he has compared to his body? There's a few special things about Marvin's body that I want to tell you about. So first of all, if you've watched any of my other videos, I've introduced you to a gecko before, a crested gecko named Cookie Monster, who does not have eyelids and who is very excellent at climbing. His feet, Cookie Monster's feet, are sort of sticky, so he can climb up trees and up glass and even up my arm. Marvin lives in a place in the world where there's lots of sand and little kind of bits of things that can fly around in the wind. And so for that reason, Marvin has eyelids. So Marvin can shut his eyes when he sleeps and Marvin can blink. So that's something that's a little bit different on this gecko. Marvin also does not have sticky feet or claws. Marvin actually has these nice individual toes with some long nails on them. And that's because Marvin doesn't really do a lot of climbing in the desert. He needs to be able to walk around rocks and sand. And so the sticky toes are not as necessary for a leopard gecko in the environment that they live in. Marvin also has ears. Can you see this little hole right here? And he has another one on the other side. So Marvin has 2 ears. And you can see Marvin's nose and mouth. Marvin does have teeth. Marvin's pretty good at walking around in my hand, but I also want to talk to you about this amazing tail. Look at this crazy big tail. Do you notice how fat it is? Well, Marvin lives in the desert. You might know of another desert animal that has sort of a big fat part of their body that helps them survive in a desert environment. Camels. Camels have a big hump or 2 big humps on their back for storing fat. Well, that's what Marvin's tail does. Leopard geckos will store up fat in their tails so that if food becomes hard to find, they can survive. Their bodies will use up the fat that is in their tails. And what do you think Marvin might like to eat in the desert? Marvin would like to eat little insects, little spiders, little ants. Marvin would even eat a little baby rodent or mouse, desert mouse. Marvin might even eat another baby lizard, but mostly Marvin likes to eat invertebrates, arachnids, and insects. Marvin was born from an egg, as most reptiles are. So leopard geckos will lay only about 2 eggs at a time. And in about 2 or 3 months after the eggs are laid, a baby leopard gecko will hatch out. And some reptiles have this very cool ability that when the temperature is either too cool or too warm, That determines if their babies are going to be boys or girls, males or females. So if it's too cool or if it's very, very warm, they will lay female eggs. But if the temperature is sort of just right in the middle, they will lay male eggs. Now, Marvin has to be well camouflaged. And because Marvin is a type of lizard that lives in the desert, Marvin spends a lot of his daytime hours snoozing or sleeping, usually underground or underneath a rock, somewhere cool and out of the sun. And then Marvin wakes up at sunset and comes out to hunt. Marvin is nocturnal. Marvin wakes up at night. And that is so he can sort of protect his skin from the hot sun, and also so he can sort of avoid predators like big birds or snakes or other big reptiles or lizards that might want to eat a smaller leopard gecko. So Marvin usually sleeps during the day, comes out at night to hunt. He is a predator, even though he's very cute, but he does eat other animals to survive. Marvin also could do something super cool. So some reptiles, when they are afraid or when they are nervous or if they are caught by another animal on their tail, they have the ability to drop their tail off of their body and run away. And the tail will be left behind and it still sort of wiggles a little bit. So the animal that wants to eat them, the predator, will be still holding on or go after the tail, and Marvin will run away and survive. That's called autotomy, when an animal can drop a part of their body. It's kind of amazing. He will grow another tail if that happens, but it won't be quite as big as his nice big fat tail here. It will be a little bit smaller and kind of shorter. But he can survive, and that is another way that Marvin can escape predators. He will get rid of his tail. So that's pretty cool. So I hope you liked meeting Marvin the leopard gecko, who comes from the deserts. He's a very, very cute and friendly little lizard, a reptile who has scales all over his body. Remember, reptiles do shed their skin, so Marvin will shed as he grows and gets a little bit bigger. Most reptiles grow for their whole life. So Marvin will shed his skin every now and then, and there will be new, bigger skin underneath. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked learning a little bit about Marvin and seeing another cool animal from the museum. Here's a nice little close-up of his eyes. His cool reptile eyes. If there is another animal you would like to learn about, or a diorama you would like to see, or something in nature you're curious about, feel free to comment on this video or have your grown-up do it for you. And let me know, and I would love to do some more shout outs. Thank you all for watching. Happy exploring. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.